Good morning everybody and a very warm welcome to Ringwood South. And today I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm not going to take too long with this video, but this video is primarily put up basically because of Richard of New Junction had asked me a question about my Zimo speaker that I got for my class 60, and he was asking me whether or not is it worth it. And so that's primarily what this video is about, but I just wanted to sort of take you through a layout update briefly because quite a bit has changed, and it's primarily to do with the other end, which has affected this end. The track configuration is more or less the same. The fiddle yard is still down there, which is where the 67 is currently, but what I've done is I've moved the shed from the centre down to this end. Ignore the gantry down at that end because that's not staying there, and we've still got at this end the track work's still exactly the same, but what I've done is I've moved the engine sheds, these two engine sheds that was at the end of the turntable here instead where the other ones are, because excuse me, down at this end I've just simplified it because what I wanted to do is I wanted to add the station, and the problem that I have is basically this is where it was before and it used to go straight across, but it was just too narrow here and I couldn't really find a suitable station building to fit on here, and it's just too narrow, and I thought I'd simplify it and I'd use my old Behringer station that I used to have over at Behringer, and I gave it a bit of a repaint and put it into the Southern Region green. And I'm going to be using this one as my station building now, because the other options, if I just sort of quickly move you along, was to use my Capital Commuter pack. It came with this low relief Network Southeast building, but it's not really appropriate. So, and it was the only low relief station building that I could use. So I thought to myself, right, I'm going to have to use one of the other ones that I've got, and I didn't really want to go for another expense to buy another station building. So I just thought, well, actually, it will simplify it, and this will give me like a little wider platform here, and give me a bit more scenic room here, and I've still got a couple of spaces here. Now the engine shed might go here, or I was thinking of maybe putting a good shed here. My 66 is awaiting a sound chip, that's why that's there. It's been there for a little while actually. But going back to the crux of the video, basically, I was meant to put it, as you can probably, there's my 60, it was meant to go in the 60, which is buried in the engine shed. So basically all of these locos are now DCC fitted at least. But recently, I sound fitted my Helgen 47. And so basically, what I wanted to show you is using 47 as a comparison check, because that Zimo speaker I put into my 67. So you'll see the difference in the quality. I'm not going to go through all the sound functions because I'll do that properly when I do a proper review on the 47, because what I'm going to be doing is, the 47 sounds okay, but it really could benefit with the a good speaker in it, and you'll see why, because you'll automatically see the difference, well, hear the difference I should say. Now there was some question, and I was a bit reluctant to buy. I bought the TTS sound chip for this 47, but I was a bit reluctant to do so because basically it's a Helgen, and a Helgen apparently use more power, and because they use more power, there was a question mark over whether or not, sorry whilst I'm doing this, there was a question mark as to whether or not you could use the TTS sound, because some people had questioned whether or not the sound chip on the TTS 47 would work on the Helgen 47. Now the Helgen 47 is an 8-pin socket, and it's a very, very easy job to do. And the thing is with Helgen 47s is they're very, very good locos. They're not that expensive to get hold of, and this one is pretty much cost me to sound fit it and the loco itself for pretty much 100 quid. Now, considering that Batman self-fitted locos, or any self-fitted locos, to be honest, are generally about the £180–200 mark. You could pick if you're lucky, you could pick up a decent Helgen 47 on eBay for about 60 quid or something like that. Maybe more, maybe £70, but it's still a good deal because the sound chip for the 47 cost me 37 quid. So let's just hear it. I'll fire her up. Like I said, she's not as good as the 67 because this particular 47 is still running with the original chip and the original speaker, but I am going to swap out the speaker, so this is just like a temp job. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire her up and let's see what she sounds like off the bat. This is standard fitting. Oh, that was the horn, and I'll show you the other horn as well. There's another horn as well, and you can see that it's there. It sounds like a 47 horn, but it's just a bit. So let's fire her up, and you can see what I mean. So you can see what it sounds like. This is with a standard speaker, and on the 47 it comes with the little round one. It's not this one that you get. This is the one that I took out, the 67. This is the standard Hornby speaker that you get with the 67 ones, the rectangular ones. But this one came with a round one. Let's just quickly see if I can go back into focus. Go on, focus. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. Right. And so that's what she sounds like at the moment. I can't get her to focus properly. Oops, sorry. So she sounds all right. Now, the other thing with this one, there's been a few comments about some of the TTS sound decoders. There's a class 31 sound decoder that's prone to this, that the CV settings had to be altered slightly for the loco to run smoothly. And I found that with this sound decoder, it was exactly the same. The 47 wasn't running smoothly, it was a bit stuttery. So I had to change the CV settings and rewrite them, just on two, and I took advice through some of the videos that were out there, and it's cured this now, so now it's running a lot smoother, and it's a lot less juddery than it was before. So I'm just going to shut it down, and then we'll move on to the 67. And you can hear it sounds nice enough, but it would definitely benefit from... It will definitely benefit from a better speaker, so I'm going to shut it down. Right, so that's the 47, and I'm happy enough with the sounds that you get out of it. I'm just like I said, the speaker just isn't all that. So now I'll give you a little run through of the now newly improved 67. So if we can put that somewhere where we can see it, and we'll fire up the 67. Excuse me, I'm a bit, like I said, a bit spluttery, so bear with me. Right. Sorry. Well, there you go. Well, I'll do that again because then that will demonstrate one of the things I love about this speaker. The clarity of the speaker is just absolutely amazing. It is absolutely epic, the sound that comes out of it. So we'll do it again. That is just so that's the difference in the speaker. You could hear the 47. It was lovely. It sounded like a 47, but it was a bit rattly. It was a bit sort of tinny, and that's just the speaker and the way that you position the speaker. So now we'll fire her up once I've figured out the right functions. Yeah, okay, enough said. That is just the clarity. The clarity of the speaker. I mean, I've paid £12 for the speaker, which is quite expensive, but they do range. I mean, I was looking on eBay, and the speakers range for about £3.49 for like your standard speaker, and some will go up to about 16, I think I saw. And at the end of the day, it's horses for courses, and that was kind of like the crux of what Richard was asking me. He was sort of asking me, is it worth getting one of these? Does it make a difference getting one of these speakers? So if I just do another horn, that's the difference. It's that clarity. It sounds so much better. So I'll just shut it down again. So that's got a Zimmo speaker in it, and this is a 20x40 speaker. But the problem is, it's not a one speaker fits all. That's where the problem is. So this is what you have to sort of take into consideration. In my short time of starting to put sound in some of these locomotives, they don't all take the sound in the same speaker. So as good as the speaker is in that 67, that speaker didn't fit the 60, and you'd think the 60 at the back there is quite a big chunky beast, but because of the size of the chassis, as you saw, it won't accept that speaker. So you can't just sort of say, well, I love this speaker, I'm going to buy 10 of them and fit them to all my locos, because it won't work like that. This one's got the little round one at the moment, so I don't think it comes with this one, but I have done some research, and I know that Zimmo do a smaller speaker. I think the height is the same, but it's actually just a bit shorter. That's the only difference. It's not as long as that, so it might make it more accessible to fit it. And definitely this 47 and the 60 at the back will definitely benefit from it. The 20 that I've got knocking around, which is this one here, that's the one that came with a permanent wave set with a lock sound. Now, I don't know what speaker that's got in it, because I haven't opened it, because I haven't had the need to. But this is just one of these things that you have to sort of take into consideration. I think what I'm tending to find is the best way I've tried to find out what it does, if you don't want to open up your locos, is sometimes go onto eBay and see, which is how I found out about this one. Before I opened this one up, I went onto eBay and I saw that they were selling a Helgen 47 chassis on its own without the body. So you could zoom into the body, into the chassis without the body on. So you could sort of, even before I've opened this, I can have a rough idea of where the speaker's going to go, which is quite good. And some of the other ones are the same as well. So what I'm tending to do is, because I'm not sure where I'm going to put the speaker, it means I don't know what size speaker I'm going to need. So sometimes it's like the 66 down there. It's opened up because I didn't really know where to put the speaker. So I'm only opened up just to check it, to see what sort of size speaker I need and whether or not this speaker here will fit into it. As it turns out, this speaker will fit into that 66, but I won't be using it. So that's kind of like a little bit of a guide. Yes, it is worth getting a Zimmo speaker. Well, and there's probably some other speakers out there. Road and Rail .co.uk also do some great speakers, and I think they advertise them on eBay. They do speakers, and they haven't. To be fair, I haven't they sound like they're good speakers from what I hear, because he's done some reviews of them and put some clips up on YouTube of what he's done, and so you can sort of listen to the sounds via the YouTube channel that he's got. And if you're thinking of buying one of his speakers, but I haven't actually installed any of my locos at the moment. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what my 68's got in it, what the speaker is on the 68 either, but I really love the sound out of that. But definitely, it's the basic speaker that you get. This speaker is okay in certain locos, but you can definitely feel the difference. I know definitely that the sound out of this 47 will definitely improve once I've just improved the speaker that's in it. And like I said, to answer the question, like I said, some people saying, can you put a Hornby TTS Class 47 sound chip into a Helger 47? You can, because I've done it, and here's the proof right here. Like I said, you might have to adjust the CV settings because it was a bit stuttery to begin with, but she's perfectly fine now, and she runs very smooth now. So that's a cracking little job down. So that's just now another one that's been added to the Ringwood South fleet, and slowly but surely we've now got a few more choices. And like I said, I will be looking at possibly putting another speaker into my Class 60, an upgraded one into that, as well as into my 47. So I hope that answers your question. Anyone else with any questions, please feel free to do so. And I think I am forgetting something, so bear with me 1 second. Okay, right, so I did forget something. I had a comment or a question from Tony Slight, and he asked me whether I'd had any feedback from Dapol over my Class 68, and in short, no. I've had nothing back, and I'm not chasing them anymore. As I said at the time, with all my issues with the 68, I kind of said, well, hopefully it'll be a time thing, and once I get used to it, I'll just put it to bed. And that's pretty much what's happened now. I've just put it out of my mind now. It's done now. It's running and it's fine, and I'm glad to have it up and running. But just to reiterate, just based on my experience alone, I wouldn't recommend using DCC supplies. That's just my own personal experience. Others have had different experiences, but for me, after all the issues that I've had, no, I wouldn't. I still feel the same. That bit hasn't changed. I still won't go and use DCC supplies for anything. Actually, funnily enough, I had a bit of a chuckle because I was reading one of the railway magazines, and basically they said there was an advert on the back, and it said DCC supplies provider in excellence, or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember what it was. Something in excellence or something. And I just thought. Yeah, I just had to have a little chuckle because I just thought, what a load of rubbish. Anyway, that's not the experience I had. Maybe somebody else did. So, but anyway, no, I haven't heard anything from Dapol, and I haven't heard anything back from DCC Supplies, and my feelings haven't changed. I still wouldn't use them for anything, but I've now put the whole issue to bed, and she still runs. So, I haven't used them much, to be fair, but at the moment I'm still trying to get the layout up and running and sorted out. And I'm still messing around and tinkering around with the track plan, but just with the new layout, the new reconfiguration of it, I am happier with it. I think it works better, and it gives me a chance to add a little bit more scenery and also to put a station building. So from Ringwood South, bye for now, and until the next time. And like I said, if you have any comments or any questions, please feel free to ask, and I shall endeavour to get back to you. Bye for now.